Good morning. You are listening to Ellen White Speaks, where we share excerpts from the writings of author Ellen G. White on the voice of Sacrificial Lamb Ministries. This is the WSLM Radio Ministry Podcast. Good morning. This is Pastor Vince. It's Monday, March 25th, and we're continuing in this book called The Three Angels' Messages by Ellen G. White. It's called The Three Angels' Messages, God's Proclamation for the Last Days. This is the message that needs to be emphasized, it needs to be preached all over the world concerning these last days. And that's what we at Sacrificial Lamb Ministries intend to do. And we know there are other ministries out there. There are many other ministries that are preaching and teaching on the Three Angels' Messages. We've been teaching on it for quite some time. We went through a lesson called Angel Messages from Space some time ago during our program called Eyes on Prophecy. I hope you listened to that. If you haven't, I invite you to scroll back and find Eyes on Prophecy, and you'll see Eyes on Prophecy, and then it'll say Angel Messages from Space. That was a lesson that we went through. I think we had it divided into 5 or 6 parts, whatever it was. But yeah, it's right here on the podcast, and you can go back and listen for yourself. You can also read about the Three Angels' Messages in God's Word, found in Revelation chapter 14, verses 6 through 12. So there are many people who are teaching on the Three Angels' Messages. It's not a denominational thing. It's not just one particular denomination that's teaching and preaching on it. Many people are preaching and teaching on it. I'm not going to name names right now, but you probably know some people who are very well known teachers and preachers on, well, not so much the Three Angels' Messages, but on Bible prophecy in general. I should say it that way. There are many people who are preaching and teaching on Bible prophecy in general. Yeah, there's many people. There's people I'm thinking of right now. You probably know who they are too. But concerning the Three Angels' Messages, there aren't many people, as you would think, that are preaching and teaching on it. I mean, I only know of a certain group of people or whatever, or a certain circle of people who are currently teaching on the Three Angels' Messages, and this ministry is part of that circle. But without further ado, I want to share another excerpt with you from Ellen G. White concerning the Three Angels' Messages. And wow, we're still in this chapter 1. This is a wonderful chapter. I mean, the book itself is wonderful, but we're still in chapter 1. And chapter 1 is called The Setting and Relevance of the Three Angels' Messages. And this section is called The Three Angels Represent God's Last Day People. This particular excerpt is called God's Agents Sound the Warning. God's Agents Sound the Warning. She says, the three angels of Revelation 14 represent the people who accept the light of God's messages and go forth as his agents to sound the warning throughout the length and breadth of the earth. That comes from Testimonies for the Church, Volume 5, pages 455, 456, from 1885. And I want to share one more with you. This one is called Angels Direct, but God's People Proclaim. Angels direct, but God's people proclaim. She says, the work of preaching the gospel has not been committed to angels, but has been entrusted to men. Holy angels have been employed in directing this work. They have in charge the great movements for the salvation of men, but the actual proclamation of the gospel is performed by the servants of Christ upon the earth. That comes from The Great Controversy, GC for short, GC 312, from 1888, 1911. So friend, there's just a little bit more from the book, The Three Angels' Messages, that I've just shared with you from Ellen G. White. We're going to continue tomorrow, God willing, with more from this book called The Three Angels' Messages. I've been saying that we're going to spend a lot of time in this book. So yeah, get ready for us to bring you more from The Three Angels' Messages by Ellen G. White. So please join me tomorrow, if you will, for another edition of Ellen White Speaks on the voice of Sacrificial Lamb Ministries. This is the WSLM Radio Ministry Podcast. Until tomorrow, Be blessed. May the Lord be with you.